The dawning realization that someone may be driving you out into the middle of a desert in order to end your life without witnesses can be quite sobering. When faced with such a situation, there are a couple different ways you can handle it. One, you can beg and plead with the driver, maybe even offer a bribe to spare your life. Two, reflect on everything that put you where you are, realize you do most of it the same way all over again, and start singing with gusto, "I did it my way." I chose door number 2. Never in my wildest dreams as a kid from Kentucky did I ever think I'd wind up where I did in that desert, nor here now about to tell you my life story. I just grew up knowing I wanted to see more, do more, and be more. And when I arrived there, or accomplished whatever I was doing, the urge would hit again. Go do more, see more. So I went, and I remain in that constant pursuit to be more. That's what living without a plan is all about. Let me be clear. This book isn't an endorsement for living out a fantasy life. It's not about sitting around and dreaming big, believing if you think good thoughts, then life will be all lollipops and gumdrops. It's all about just going after what you want, without any kind of smart, goal-setting strategies, methodical steps to get from point A to point B. Instead, as you read through my life's personal and business stories, one of the lessons I hope you take away is to skip the planning and just get started. That's what I did. I never had anything completely figured out before I dove in, which perhaps is what my superpower is. I never had it all figured out. I set a direction on the horizon and just started moving toward it. You can't have it all figured out. None of us knows for sure what's in our future. Therefore, it's impossible to make an informed decision about exactly how you will get there. Anywhere. You just don't know. I believe the best you can do is make an educated guess. Set your aim for that generalized direction and take action until you discover a course correction or different action is needed. I would even argue that putting a plan into place can be detrimental. A plan takes you to a specific place. Sure, you may get to where you thought you wanted to go, but how do you know that's the best place for you? What if you could go beyond it? What if you could go someplace entirely different, but entirely better? Instead of sticking to a plan, I chose to be more open-minded about where I'm going. I see something I think I want and head in that direction. Sometimes I get there. Other times I experience a failure of some sort, which is always a gift. Those failures provide the guidance I need to head in a different direction. Because of that loose and sometimes wandering strategy, I've found massive success. I've traveled the world. I've had some amazing adventures. Who knows? If I had a plan back in high school, I likely would have just ended up on Wall Street. I have nothing against being on Wall Street. It's just likely I would never have wound up in the desert singing Sinatra if I had stayed there. Before I get started with my story, though, I do have to throw out a word or two of caution. First, yes, I am a small-town kid from Kentucky, but I lived in New York City for a long time, long enough that I talk like a New Yorker. And I've worked with way too many Aussies whose language is just as colorful. In other words, you're about to hear some words you may not be expecting in a business advice book. Words like fuck, cunt, and other lively expressions. I'm writing that way on purpose because that's how I talk, how I express myself. I want you to know who my true, authentic self is, and that self swears like a motherfucker. I think being authentic is the key to meaningful relationships. Whether that's a love relationship, friendship, partnership, or some other kind of business relationship, authenticity is a cornerstone that will make it real and strong, something you can trust. I live an authentic life because I know the people around me who will accept me for who I am are the people I want to be around.